This is an international podcast transmission. Is anyone out there? If you're listening, you've reached the No Fixed Agenda podcast.
Good now? Can you relax?
We're good.
Can you chill? You good
Quiet,
now?
yes.
Yes. You guys, I am so blessed to have Jeff as the producer, editor, all things No Fixed Agenda, because I just come in and sit my fat ass down.
You look pretty.
And I look pretty. I have an amazing voice. We've all established that. Yeah. But none of this would be publicized if Jeff didn't do what he does best. So
yeah.
Credit what credit is due, bro.
A little bit of everything.
Yep. But
so, what a season,
dude!
Season 3, man.
As I was saying right before we started, I went back and I looked at some of these episodes, dude, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like, which one was my favorite one? But there was I usually have a top 3, but I had a hard time picking the top 3 now this time. I had more top 5 or 6.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was thinking about this before you showed up over here. From an educational standpoint, we've always had really good guests on as far as people we learn from and everything else. I think the one that stood out the most for me was our conversation with Brenda Stevens and narcissism. And
that was in my top.
The family trauma. I thought I think mainly just because I didn't know much about. Yes, everybody hears about narcissism. Everybody is
and uses it freely.
But you really don't really know a lot. I didn't really know a lot about it. So for me, I was very eye-opening to the point where I was like, okay, I get this. This is really interesting to me. So much so that you and I have talked about bringing her on for a second episode just to learn a different aspect of it. We talked all family trauma first episode. I want to explore a little bit more from the narcissism in a different way. So hopefully over the next few months, we get her to come back in studio and have another conversation with us. But that was probably my top episode. I just went right to the top, man. You
didn't even go down.
No,
you didn't warm me up at all, dude. You just
no. Yeah. I was just so excited to what my first top one was. I just went right into it.
It's definitely in the top 5 for me. And I was going to bring that up. So much so that we brought in that we want to talk. We've been talking about bringing her back on and talking about it for more from the narcissist perspective versus the family trauma and the victim perspective. And also I've referred, me in all my coaching that I look at some of the things, the conversations we have here on the podcast, and there's a lot of referrals to the podcast. Hey, you need to listen to this because there were some good nuggets in there. Yep. And she was one of those things in this season that episode was definitely one of those things hey, you might be dealing with some form of a narcissistic trait. Listen to this episode. It's really good. You're not a narcissist, or you might be dealing with a narcissist. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure, but listen to this and does this resonate with you? So it was definitely one of those ones that it was very similar to the addiction one in season 1, dude, where I was like, hey, you want to learn about addiction? This is the conversation. This is same thing with the narcissist. Yeah, it was definitely up there. But for me, redeeming myself with my little sis, Bliss, was probably one of number 1 or number 2 for me, dude.
Just to get the redemption.
Dude, I
feel a little bit better about that conversation, do you?
A lot, not just a little bit. Everybody knows the relationship that her and I have. And, I feel like I did not do it justice in a lot of ways for the first episode. And I felt like I did a really good job of highlighting who she is and her brand and our relationship. I mean, you went off on a tangent talking about period pills and all that shit, but other than that, it was a thumbs up, brother. I was ready to go.
You didn't want to talk about period pills?
Because having conversations about periods and bliss, and that's like a no-go zone for us. all the years that we've known each other, it's like, no, we're not talking about your period. I don't even want you around for your period.
It's a good thing I was really the one having the conversation with her about that, not you.
God. Thank God.
You don't have to worry about it. That was all me.
That's like talking about periods with your sister, dude. It wasn't a fun. It wasn't a fun part of the conversation. It was not fun.
Noted. So no more period conversations for you. Okay.
We can totally have a period conversation, just not with Bliss.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know if anybody really wants to hear you and I
talking about periods,
having a period conversation. Let's just be honest with ourselves.
I think people will enjoy it. I don't know what you're talking about. I think so.
I don't know.
You because you have them and I have them.
Yeah, definitely. Mine's called Hank.
I got to give mine a freaking Mexican name. Mine is Pedro. But that was probably in the top one for me because I shared a lot of that. Yeah. But the one that from an educational perspective is Dr. Carp.
Oh yeah,
dude.
That was along your wheelhouse as far as the conversation goes. I thought that was a very intriguing, interesting conversation from a scientific running perspective. It was really cool.
I geeked out a lot,
and those are the things that you really, unless you go in fully to reading about that stuff, you're really not looking at, what's the science behind X, Y, and Z and the period Z. Like, as somebody who just likes to run, you just
fucking run.
Yes, maybe you've got your
Gump on
maybe you have your running workout, your routine or whatever it is, but you're not really diving into the science of it. Yeah. So I can see that, and I knew that was going to be a thing for you. And
hit it right on the head.
And having that conversation and being able to talk to somebody that had that knowledge for your athletes more than anything else, right? Like you talked about how you felt that episode or that conversation we had was going to be good for all of your High Rocks athletes
coming up
to listen to that and get a little bit more information.
It's going to change. It is legitimately changing the programming for High Rocks this year.
Oh, it's interesting.
Legitimately, that conversation and his material that I'm reading on periodization is changing the approach to our running program.
Nice.
So that's why it's right up there in the top. I would probably rank it from an educational perspective as number one for me.
See, I think that is why I love doing this.
Yeah.
Yes, we have to come and find time to, do this sometimes, but
it's hard sometimes for us.
But to bring guests in that we don't know where the conversation is going to go. We don't know how deep a conversation is going to get into a certain topic, but you come out of it like, oh my God, this just changed the trajectory of the way I'm going to coach the running aspect of it. And this is the way that, again, that goes for anything. Like, again, the narcissistic, conversation of oh shit, learning a lot more about that personality trait. That's what I love about doing these shows is we bring in some very unique individuals that have their own journey and story that definitely anybody can learn from. I've learned so much in the 3 seasons, 75 episodes, man. It's fucking unbelievable.
I think Sean said it best. I can't believe you guys actually have 75 episodes. I was like, me neither.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been a ride for sure. But I feel like we have a good cadence with the production of everything, with the way you and I have learned how to communicate here on the mic.
You and I have talked about this off air. And the one thing we had earlier in the season, we had a lot of more of the wellness, holistic conversations. I learned new things about myself doing these episodes. And the one thing that I learned, and I told you this, is that we had a guest on that there was things that I didn't really agree with.
Agreed.
And I didn't speak up and give my full 2 cents on that.
Because you're trying to be polite.
I was trying to be polite. And so that's one of the things that I looked at as, okay, that's a learning lesson for me moving forward is I'm not really going to get the full spectrum of the conversation unless if I do have disagreements with it, I need to speak up and voice my opinion on it or voice my take on it to see if there's something that I can learn a little bit more of. I think this season actually taught me that. And that's the one thing that I regret in the podcast realm that in the 75 episodes. And I haven't really had that in a lot of our guests.
Yeah.
There's been 99% of the people that we brought on, you and I both have had a very like in agreement to what the conversation is or whatever. But we had those, one or two guests on, and I was like, I just couldn't. And you were reading it on my face too.
I was like, dude, and then I pulled you aside and I was like, do me a favor. Just fucking speak your opinion, bro.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I can guarantee you that somebody on the other side of this freaking mic, dude, is thinking the same damn thing. And who the hell knows what could have transpired from you just expressing, because your opinion may not be fact, right?
No,
but it's definitely an opinion.
Yeah.
And you could be changing the perspective of a particular audience listener or particular listener. And then you could also be like, get a different perspective on something that you potentially might agree about later on or not. Or,
well, it's the ignorance of it. Yeah. Honestly, like because I grew up in the Midwest and I grew up in the 70s and 80s, right? In the 90s. Like we didn't really have a lot of this stuff.
Corn fed and rub dirt on the fucking cut, dude.
There was not a lot of holistic wellness conversations happening in that time period in that area. And so the ignorance aspect of it and not understanding, that's where I kind of disagree with a lot of the stuff that some of those guests were saying. And I'm like, okay, I should have just, hey, I don't really more understand this, or this is the way I think about this. And maybe they would have explained it a little bit better maybe I could look at it in a different light. But anyway, out of season, again, things that we learned in season 3, that was also the lesson that I learned too, that I need to speak up my opinion a little bit more when it comes to these episodes or these guests.
Even if it's controversial.
Even if it's controversial.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, and to those that know me and know that I think that in some regards, and I didn't speak up, my apologies to you.
Because you were like, fuck that.
Yeah.
What am I going to
This guy should have said this. I know he doesn't think this. Like, I apologize to you.
We want people to realize that we're being as authentic and genuine as possible. Even it's like, I have lessons learned too from this season on how learning to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And bite my tongue and things that I've had to introduce myself and flows. I think the biggest compliment that I could have, like in all 25 episodes of the season, was when we had Sean on the podcast.
Okay.
And his assistant was, remind me her name again.
Lexi.
And she looked right at me and she says, your transitions are money. And I was like, thank God I found something. I was like, oh, I finally got it, you guys. I was like, good Lord. I think I learned how to shut the fuck up, stay on task, and go. Like, this was awesome, dude. Yeah. So it was like the biggest compliment that I ever could have. And somebody that struggles with ADHD and silencing that voice, and just because I have the thought doesn't mean I have to say it right away.
Yeah.
And so, or just because I have a thought, I can hold it and bank it and figure out a way to get it into the conversation. And so, a lot of lessons learned from that. And I felt very much in cadence with how we want to present each guest, and that it's telling their story and not my story or your story. It's their story. And so it was very, very enlightening for me to learn that, and for somebody outside of the guest, you and I, to go, your money right now. And I'm like, fuck yes. This Suzette came back and I was telling her about it. She's like, the last few episodes you have learned how to shut the hell up. I was like, thank you. This is great.
Yeah. I've been trying to get you to shut up for a long time now. And all of a sudden it just kind of clicked. It
just clicked, amazing. Bro. Reps and sets, bro. Reps and sets. That's all I'm going to say. Reps and sets, baby. But yeah, it's been a learning experience, right? And
Yeah.
I think you and I have talked about this a lot when it comes to just entrepreneurship and everything that we do. It's like we don't know what the fuck we're doing half the time.
Yeah.
We just go do it.
Just go do it.
Fuck around and find out, baby.
Yeah.
You're like, shit, that was stupid. Yeah, so it's like we fucked around, found out, and now we're actually getting into a groove. And I'm super, super excited to see what's going to happen for season 4. And I feel like the lessons that we are going to learn in season 4 are going to be that much better. And it's just going to keep getting better and better and better and better, because now we're actually, you and I have conversations about compiling and bringing on other people. Like you mentioned, Brenda, you and I are in so many different circles that every time I have a conversation at a social event or something like that, it's like, hey, this person, if we bring this person back and we pair them up with this person right after the episode, we can talk about EMDR and all this other stuff. And this is going to be a great way to segue into this next episode. And this is a lot of collaboration from that perspective. And any circle that I happen to be in, I'm always thinking about the show.
Yeah.
I'm always thinking about.
Isn't that interesting how that kind
of,
from the perspective of like episode 1, season 1 to now, and how you kind of approach different social settings. Right? Isn't that weird? Like when I first started doing podcasting a few years ago, that's kind of the way I looked at it too. Like, and at that point in time, I was only talking to trail runners.
Right.
But I started looking at it a little bit differently. Like, you got this would be a really good conversation. Would you be interested in it? And then you get into, social networks or whatever groups we go to. It's kind of one of those things. Like you transition into, I want to learn more. Let's have you on the show.
The other one that I think our conversation last night at Run Club.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I mean, I think we got some really good episodes lined up.
Yeah.
I will tell everybody that my father will be on the podcast. I told him today finally that he is required.
I got so many questions
to come on the show, and I warned him. Now he's also a very inquisitive person himself, so he's going to have a lot of questions back to us, which is good. But I warned him, like, Omar wants to know all the dirt. So,
dude, I got a slew of questions for you,
and I'm fine with whatever questions you ask, and however he answers, he's going to answer. Like, go for it. I'm actually interested to hear his perspective on some of the shit that we got into when we were kids. So.
Dude, I got so many questions about like the factory questions, you working at the factory, bro, all of that shit, dude. Anything that's about your childhood is going to be aired on this fucking podcast. You're not going to want to miss that episode for sure.
So we got some really good guests lined up already.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff that we want to have on the show this season. So hopefully that comes together. But yeah, we're going to keep growing, guys. And we're going to, one thing that I want to see more of with this podcast is for us to expand the video aspect of it.
Yeah.
So hopefully, if you're interested in seeing really what goes on in the studio, during some of these episodes, you'll actually be able to see the video of that now on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. And the episode we just launched last week,
correct,
with Sean Lake, that was a fully produced podcast video for us. So if you want to check out some of the shenanigans and the conversation that we had with Sean, you can go onto YouTube and check that out. Or if you just
want to see what we look like.
Yeah. That's definitely not what they're thinking, but
you never know, bro.
You never know.
You never know, bro. Come on, man.
Okay. So anyway, I think there's the groove that we're in right now is really good. It's really fun. And we've got some good guests that have come through these doors over the last couple months. And I want to say thank you to everybody who's been a guest and is listening now, has come in and shared your story. Awesome. Thank you. And that goes for the last 75 episodes. Like we've had some really good, fun people I've met, and I've made new friends because of this show, and which is awesome.
We made new friends, and we made deeper connections, not just between you and I, but our guests as well. And I think we're definitely on the path of what drove us to do this a long time ago. You from an educational perspective, and from a service perspective.
Well, it'll be interesting. We're coming up on 100 episodes, so that's going to be a huge milestone for us. So
we'll have to throw a party or something, dude.
We'll have to do something big.
Shots or something.
Yeah.
We might even, I don't even drink, bro. I'll take a shot, bro. Like, what I can do is it will be a video. We'll bring a videographer, the whole thing, man. Maybe even put a strobe light in there or something.
Oh, strobe light. Dance party.
Shirts out, all the.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for listening in this season. Thank you for joining us for the last 75 episodes. It's been a blast, and we'll keep updating and keep moving the podcast forward to bring some better things for you guys.
And if you guys have an idea, by all means.
We always want to hear. We
always want to hear feedback. Tag us on our Instagram page, telling us like, what do you guys want to hear? We'll gladly share it. We'll gladly want. We want all the ideas in the world. Just because Jeff and I want to have a conversation or understand the direction of the podcast, if you guys want to hear something or a topic you want us to talk about, please share it with us.
Yeah, we'd love to talk about it. I'd love to hear from it. So anyway, Thanks a lot, guys. Really appreciate it.
Keep it coming.
This has been an international podcast transmission of No Fixed Agenda presented by Bubs Naturals. Music was provided by the Poor Dirty Astronauts with lyrics written by Matt Meyer. You can rate, review, and subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, or wherever you find your favorite podcast episodes. NFA, over and out.